set of steps that can guarantee that you get to the right answer more quickly. So the first thing you want to do, like with any patterns problem, is you want to see if the numbers are getting bigger or smaller. If they're getting bigger, you're probably adding or multiplying. If they're getting smaller, you're probably subtracting or dividing. Then you want to see how much bigger they're getting. So look at the first number you know and the last number you know. If there's only a relatively small difference in those start to finish numbers, you're probably adding or subtracting. If it's a really big difference from the start to finish number, then you're probably multiplying or dividing. And really, as a tip for a third grade skill, probably just going to be adding and subtracting if there's a gap in the numbers. Now here comes the tricky part. You want to find two numbers that you do know and figure out how far apart those two numbers are. And to do that, you're going to find their difference by subtracting. Then you want to count the hops. You don't want to count the blank lines in between them. You want to count how many hops gets you from that first number you know to the next number you know. Finally, you're going to share the difference, the answer to your subtraction problem you found, over the hops. Again, not on the lines, but over the hops. That way you're taking that total distance from the number that you do know, and you're kind of equaling, dividing it out between those lines that you don't know. I'll show you examples of what I mean. So here I have a problem going from 65 to 80. It's getting bigger, so I know I'm probably adding or multiplying. 65 to 80 really is not that much of a difference, so chances are good I'm just going to be adding. I take two numbers that I do know, 71 and 80, and I want to subtract them. I want to figure out how far apart is 71 from 80. You could count on, or you could take 80 minus 71. Well, if I have 0, I can't give you 1, so I need to do some borrowing. I cross out that 8, take away one of the 10s, so now I only have 7 10s. And those 10 ones get added into my ones column. 10 minus 1 gives me 9. 7 minus 7 is nothing. So I know from 71 to 80, there's 9. Now I want to count the hops, not the lines, the hops. There's 1, 2, 3 hops from the 71 to the 80. That means I'm going to share my difference of 9 over those hops. And it really is just sharing like when you were a kid. 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, on and on until you get up to 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I took that total difference of 9 from 71 to 80 and I shared it equally over each one of these hops. That's telling my rule is probably going to be plus 3. So 71 plus 3 gives me 74. 74 plus 3 is going to give me 77. And 77 plus 3 gave me my 80. I can feel pretty sure that I did it correctly because I got from my 71 to my 80. Now when I go forward, I'm adding 3. If I ever have to go backwards, for example, to get from 71 to this blank line, I do the opposite, which is going to be minus 3. 71 minus 3, well that's like 71 minus 1, which is 70, and then back up 2 more, which is going to give me my 68. And then just to double check, I think about 68 minus 3 again, because I'm going backwards, and check to see does that really equal 65? Yep, 68 minus 3 gives me my 65. So you can see with that set of steps, I could easily get from that 71 to the 80 without any problem. Help me with this next problem. I can see that I'm getting from 42 to 18. So is that going to be an adding problem or a subtracting problem? Yep, you're right. It's going to be subtracting because I'm getting smaller. Now, let's say I want to focus on this 42 and this 30. How do I figure out how far apart they are? If you said subtraction, you're right. So I'm going to take the big number, in this case it's the first one, 42, and subtract the little number, which is 30. What is 42 minus 30? Well, 2 minus nothing is 2, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So I know from 42 to 30 is 12. Now what do I do? If you said count the hops, you'd be correct. I want to see how far it is from 42 to 30. Are there 2 hops or 1 hop? If you said 1 hop, chances are good you weren't counting the hops, you were just counting this line. You should have said 2 hops, because you can see there is from here to here is 1 hop, and from here to here is 2 hops. So there's 2 hops. That means I'm going to share this 12 over my 2 hops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Each hop is going to be worth 6. Now we said it was subtracting, so every time I go forward 1 hop, I'm going to subtract 6. 42 take away 6. Well, 42 take away 2 is 40, and then make back up another 4 would give me 36. And then 36 take away 6 gives me my 30. I feel very confident that I've done it correctly because I successfully got from 42 to 30 using even hops. So every time I go forward, I'm going to subtract 6. 30 take away 6 is going to give me 24. And then just to double check, I want to say 24 minus 6. Well, 24 minus 4 is 20, and then back up another 2 gives me my 18. I know I did it right. When I go backwards, do I still minus 6? No, you're right. I need to add 6. I do the opposite. So I think 42 plus 6. Well, 42 plus 6 is going to give me my 48. I know that I've successfully solved that problem. These next two problems I want you to do on your own on a whiteboard. Go ahead and copy the problems down, solve them, and when you're all done, you're going to check your answers here. Go ahead and push pause so you can solve the problems down. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and check our work. So, first thing I need to do is figure out, am I adding or subtracting? Going from 99 to 79, I'm getting smaller, so I'm going to be subtracting. I need to pick two numbers to figure out how far apart they are. I could do from 99 to 91, or I could do 91 to 79. I'm going to make it a little challenging, so I'm going to figure out how far 91 is to 79. That means I need to subtract 91 minus 79. If I have 1, I can't give you 9, so I need to do some borrowing. So now I only have 8 tens, and those 10 ones gets added to the 1 I already have, so I have 11. 11 minus 9 gives me 2. 8 minus 7 gives me 1. Now, you should have shared that over the hops, not over the lines, but over the hops. So you should have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Each hop is worth 4, and since we're getting smaller, we're going to be subtracting 4. So 91 minus 4 should have given you 87. 87 minus 4 should have given you 83. And then 83 minus 4 indeed gives us our 79. When you went backwards, instead of minusing 4, you're going to be adding 4. So I'm thinking 91 plus 4 is going to give me 95. And then just to be thorough, I double check 95 plus 4 gives me my 99. Did you find a rule of minus 4? And did you find 95, 87, and 83 as your missing numbers? If so, you did it correctly. For this last one, you could have picked again any set of numbers to do your starting and ending. I'm going to go from 12 to 28. I need to know how far apart those numbers are, so I'm going to take my 28 and minus my 12. 8 minus 2 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1. So I know from 12 to 28, I'm going to be sharing 16. Now I can see that going from 12 to 28, I'm getting bigger, so this is an adding problem. And I just go ahead and start sharing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Altogether, each hop is worth 8, and since we're getting bigger, we're adding 8. 12 plus 8 gives me my 20. 20 plus 8 gives me my 28. Keeping going forward, 28 plus another 8 would give me 36. Then 36 plus another 8 indeed gives me my 44. When I go backwards, instead of adding 8, I'm actually going to do the opposite of that, which is going to subtract 8. 12 minus 8 gives me 4. Did you find a rule of plus 8? And did you find 4, 20, and 36 as your missing numbers? If so, you're ready to move on to the next activity on your center. If not, watch this video again and let's try again.